I'm Brittney Saunders and welcome to Big Business, the place where business is far from boring. And today I'm recording on Gadigal land. Now, I somehow managed to build an empire from the garage underneath my house, and I'm here to share it all with you. From the wins, the mistakes, the challenging times, and trust me, there's a lot, and the funny moments in between. So whether you're in business already, maybe you're not in the game at all, perhaps you're looking for a little bit of inspo, or you just simply want to hear the tea when it comes to running a business, this is the podcast for you. Coming up on today's episode, I'm joined by a very special guest, and I'm so excited for this chat because I'm going to be chatting with Iris Smit, who is the owner and founder of an iconic brand here in Australia called The Quick Flick. Iris is Australia's beauty innovation queen, having erupted onto the small business scene in 2018 with her game-changing winged eyeliner stamp as featured on Shark Tank in Australia. And we're going to talk about her experience on that. Within a few short months, this genius product was generating hundreds of thousands of dollars revenue every month and had stockist requests from some of Australia's biggest beauty retailers. With her innovative beauty solutions loved worldwide, the Quick Flick brand is now available in Australia, New Zealand, United States, United Kingdom, Germany, and the United Arab Emirates. It's safe to say Iris is doing everything and a lot, and I personally love her products, so I'm so excited to have her in the studio with me today. Isn't it funny when you meet people online, that you follow online, and then you meet them in real life?
And you feel like you know them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can
It's
imagine.
one of these moments.
Yeah. So we've been following each other online for who knows how long now. How long have you been doing what you're doing, by the way?
I started 2017.
How many years is that?
A long time. I think seven years.
Yeah,
now?
so roughly
Is
the
it?
same time as
I
Faye.
literally have to use my fingers to count.
We're about to celebrate our 7th birthday, but it feels,
Oh my God.
I was saying, like, we've been doing this for 7 years. It feels like a lot has happened in 7 years, but it also feels like it's just flown.
It's gone so quick.
Don't you think being in business makes you realise how fast the time goes?
Time goes so fast, yeah. Especially with COVID, I feel like 2020 to maybe like 2022, those 2 years was just like a write-off. I'm like, I don't even count them.
No.
I'm like, no, I've been in business for like 5 years.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. Well, I'm so excited to have you on the pod. I've obviously followed you for who knows how long, and I feel like we've been connected online. Love everything that you do. Love some of your products. I've been buying them.
Oh, thank you.
I've got on your...
Tanning serum spray?
Yeah, like the mist one.
Yeah.
I've been putting it like on my face and neck and then just on my hands.
Can I bring something out?
Yeah.
I've brought you something.
Oh, my God.
Because someone actually sent me your live using it.
Oh, yes.
And I was like, no way. And I was like, I need to hook you up
Oh, stop.
with the mousse.
Oh.
So I brought you the mousse, which is like, it's literally like whipped cream. I was like, you'll love this. Hold on. I've got a demo. See this? So this is tan.
Wow.
Yeah, so
it's
that's
like
for your
white
body.
mousse.
Literally white mousse.
Is it gradual or like fake tan?
It's a fake tan, but it's gradual. I am actually working on a darker version.
Yeah,
But
nice.
it's literally just like a moisturiser. There you go.
Love that.
Now I've got nowhere to put this. So that's yours. So
Thank you so
we're adding to your
much.
collection today.
Well, I gave up fake tan. Like I was a serial fake tanner.
Yeah.
Like every week. You just holding on to that for the rest of the year. We'll get a cloth. We'll just keep talking,
Oh, I
Xander.
love it.
I gave up fake tanning because I used to do it religiously, and then it just got to the point
Same.
where I was like, I can't do this every
CVF.
Thursday. Yeah. So now I kind of just put on like a bit of gradual, or I bought
Yeah.
that mist thing,
Yes.
and then I just put that on when I want to feel a bit of a glow. Anyway,
Yay.
I want to get into the pod because I feel like we're just going to sit here and have
talk
a
about
good old
products.
catch up.
Yeah.
So excited to have you on, which I've already said. You're the owner and founder of The Quick Flick, which I think is becoming quite an iconic brand here in Australia. And I'm sure if the name The Quick Flick doesn't set anything off in your head, I'm sure if you saw the Quick Flick products,
You would know.
Yeah, you would know.
Or people say the stamp thingy. Thank you.
The eyeliner stamp.
The stamp thingy. They're like, you're the stamp girl. I'm like, yep, that's me. Or the sunscreen girl. Sometimes they say the sunscreen spray girl.
You're
Thank you
doing
for
all
that.
the things. Okay, we've just cleaned up the tan
The mousse is gone.
Xander's distracting us already. I guess I obviously know your story and who you are and what the Quick Flick is, but maybe you can give everyone listening
Quick rundown. Yes.
What is the Quick Flick for anyone who doesn't know?
Yes. So I started it 2017 and winged eyeliner was just popping off at the time.
Yes.
You know, it was like the era of the winged eyeliner. Like a makeup look wasn't finished without
A massive
a big wing, like
yeah.
a big ass wing. And I was watching so many videos of how to do winged eyeliner.
Yep.
So I decided to create a better solution, which was the eyeliner stamp. So yeah, my whole brand is essentially about solving makeup problems that people experience in their day-to-day routines and solving that through better designed products. So whether that be eyeliner stamps, sunscreen to help with reapplying a sunscreen over a full face of makeup, false lash application, name a problem, I probably have a product that solves it.
She's a problem solver.
Yeah. Problem solver, time saving, and also trying to make them multi-use as well.
Yes.
So you can fake tan and moisturize at the same time, for example.
We love that. So your Quick Flick range, which I have a question for you, by the way, I'm going to ask you in a second, but your Quick Flick range is obviously you started it online and then you've since branched out into retail.
Yeah.
And now all of your entire range is available in Priceline and Coles.
Yeah, so entire range in Priceline. We actually just launched our first floor stand.
Yep.
There's a select range in Coles and a select range in Terry White as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're allowed to be in all different ones like that, right?
Yeah.
So you can be in Priceline and Terry
White.
Terry White.
So yes, unless you've got like different terms with your retailers that maybe makes you exclusive, but in our case we don't have that.
Very interesting. Like, this
Yeah.
is all like new to me. I'm like, teach me everything you know,
Yeah.
honestly, because how like mind blowing. My first question to you is obviously when you started this, you started it on your own. You started it with your eyeliner stamp, and you've called your brand the Quick Flick. Was your mentality at the time, I'm just coming out with this one product, and that's why I'm going to call the whole brand the Quick Flick? And since you have evolved, I think you've been very clever with then interpreting that into your other products, like Quick Screen, is
Quick
it?
screen,
Yeah,
quick glow,
glow.
having its own little range.
But my question is, have you ever had any, I guess, regrets about calling your brand the product name?
So when I started, I don't really know what I thought.
Yeah.
I just started. I didn't have like this big 5-year business plan and this is what I want to do and this is what I want to go into. I kind of just started and just rolled with it. I think looking back, yes, maybe if I was to do it again, I would have chosen just a generic name that would have overarched the entire brand.
Yep.
But I still think like Quick Flick, it's still relevant to the ethos of the brand, which is like to get it done in a flick, you know? So I think it still is relevant. It's not like winged eyeliner stamp selling like a sunscreen. And there is other brands that do it, like Beauty Blender, for example. They now have like branched off into like foundations and skincare products. So
and their brand is called Beauty
is
Blender.
literally Beauty Blender, yeah.
Yeah. So you can evolve around a name. But what would be your advice, if any, to someone maybe who is starting a business? Like both you and I, when we started, I think we started in similar ways where we didn't know what the fuck we were doing.
Literally,
We just started it anyway, and not much thought went into our brand names.
Rolled with the punches, yeah.
If you could do your time over again, would you spend a bit more time thinking about the name and the effect it could have on the future of the business?
Yeah, I think so. I think if I started again, I'd probably definitely pick a generic, just overarching name that would probably encompass everything beauty related.
Yeah, I think that's the interesting thing as well. When someone is starting something, you know, from scratch, you don't think it's ever, I mean, some people might have the dream that their brand is going to be huge and it's going to be in Coles and Terry White.
Yeah.
But when you are starting so small, you kind of do have that small mindset. So you never think, oh, maybe I'll call it something plain in case I become huge one day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been wanting to ask you that question.
Yeah.
Have you ever considered a rebrand at any point?
Yes. It's like you're in my brain right now. Yes, I have, but I honestly just feel like the Quick Flick's just the Quick Flick now.
Yeah.
And it would maybe not be detrimental, but I don't know the true benefit it would have because I've kind of already proven that we can be quite successful in other categories like tanning or sunscreen. And I think having, the name like Quick Screen or Quick Glow, it still works. And then people know it's, you know, Quick Glow tanning by the Quick Flick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so interesting. And I'm always interested when I see brands do rebranding And you even see like some massive brands do a whole rebrand.
Like Huda Beauty recently. They did like all new logos and everything.
Yeah, like I can't imagine what that process would look like for brands when they've got all the products out there. Like I think if we were to ever rebrand Fate, I'd have to change like every tag on every piece of clothing and all the signage that's everywhere.
Massive.
Like how do you even orchestrate something like that?
Yeah, it'd be huge, especially for retail, because say if we were, you know, let's say calling it, I don't know, Quick Cosmetics or something, I don't know, Quick Beauty, we would essentially have to buy back all the stock from the retailers, dispose of it somehow or sell it off for really cheap, and then pipe in all new branded stock.
It would be a lot.
It would be very expensive exercise.
It would be a lot. I've never really had one thought in my mind to rebrand Fate, but the only time that I have ever thought that is because I have been shocked over the years at how many people have thought that it's fat.
No, I've seen your videos and I'm just like, can you not read?
Like, are you seeing F-A-Y and like that's Faye and then to on the end? But that's the only thing that's ever made me go, I think we need to change the name.
No, that's a them problem. That's not a you problem.
And then I often think, like, is that tied into them knowing that we do all these sizes and then them going, oh, it's fat label?
Surely not. Surely not.
Seriously.
There's no hope for humanity otherwise.
I guess another thing that's really interesting about your journey that people may or may not know about is the fact that you went on Shark Tank. Mm-hmm. How long ago was that?
So that was many moons ago, 2018.
So you were only like a year into your business journey.
Yeah, I actually got the email from the producer 4 months after I had started. And my initial thought was, one, this is a scam.
So they scouted you.
Yeah. At first I thought this is a scam email. So I was like, meh. I think I like deleted it and then like undeleted it. I was like, no, it's legit. And then, I think going back to what you said about like the smaller mindset thing, I was like, I'm too small to go on this show.
Yeah.
Like only big businesses go on this who have, you know, huge revenue behind them. And at the time I was still very small. I was like literally doing it out of my 1-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
So...
And you just had the one product back then, right?
Yeah, it was the eyeliner stamp in a few different sizes.
Yep.
But initially I just pushed it to the side and said, I'm not going to bother. And then I think the submissions were due at midnight and it was 1 a.m. in the morning. I was packing orders and I was like, fuck it, just do it, Iris. So I like whipped out my phone and I was like, hi, I'm Iris. And I looked so tired and like my hair was like everywhere. And did like back then what was probably like UGC now.
Yes.
But back then it was all like very polished and these, you know, highly produced videos. Sent it in and the producer literally called me the next day. She was like, we love it. Such a raw video. It's so like down to earth. I was like, I'm glad that's what you think. Because like I remember when I was actually going to do the filming, like there was people there telling me they had hired like film crews to
do their like little
do their audition tape. Yeah, really good polished stuff. And mine was like,
hi.
You think that iPhone quality is bad?
Wow. And so you went on Shark Tank, obviously seeking an investment. Mm-hmm. I remember watching like the clips when that happened, but what was the investment that you're after and what percentage were you?
Oh, testing my knowledge. So I think it was $300,000 for... So I was asking for $300,000 for 10%. Mm-hmm. And then the deal I ended up getting, but then later turned down after the show, was $300,000 for 27.5%.
Oh, that's a high amount.
Yeah.
That's a high amount. So you did like take that offer on the show?
Took it on the show after a bit of back and forth negotiation. And then, afterwards when it went like through the whole due diligence, I ended up turning it down. And
it was like the best thing that you did?
Yeah, I'm glad I'm solo.
What were you wanting to do with that $300,000?
Go into retail.
Yeah, okay.
And during the time, like when you film and then when the due diligence actually starts, like there was a 3 months gap that had happened. And during that time, Priceline had actually reached out to me and said, we want to put you in our stores. And literally during that 3-month time, I'd scaled my business from I think $100,000 in revenue to $500,000 in revenue.
Wow.
So I had the cash to literally do it on my own. And actually I was very fortunate. I had really good lawyers and they were kind of like, do you even still want to take this deal? Like, it's actually not a good deal where you look at where you are now. Maybe back then, if all of this hadn't come along.
Yes.
But yeah, I was really glad they were in my ear because everyone around me was pushing me to take it.
Wow.
Like, insane amount of pressure to take this deal from everybody.
Yeah, because you think like Shark Tank and
Yeah,
you think
it's
like,
huge
wow, this is a
and,
big deal.
you know, so yeah, I'm really grateful I had good advice.
I can imagine that's hard when you've got a bunch of like yes people in your ears. Did you have like a gut feeling then that was like, no, like I don't think I should take this?
Yeah, I really did. Like there was just a deep down knowing I shouldn't go through with this. So I'm really, really glad I've listened to that. And I feel like even now in business, like when that gut feeling's like, listen to that shit.
Yeah, I found that that's always the right feeling. And even it could be something so small, like at the beginning of something. It's this little gut feeling
niggle.
and then you let it go and then later down the track
It will bitch slap you if you don't listen to it.
So listen to your gut.
Listen, yeah, 100%.
100%, like in anything in business, I would say.
Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely.
So do you know what that would have looked like if you had taken on that investment? And, you know, I know nothing about investors or people being in your business kind of thing. Like, did they map it out to you what that would have looked like?
I can't talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. I wanted the tea.
Yeah, I can't. Sorry.
I'm not going to get
I'll
it
get
out of you,
slaughtered.
obviously. But just because that whole thing, like, fascinates me, obviously.
Yeah. I can't discuss the actual details of what that deal would have looked like. Mm-hmm. But from my knowledge of other people I know who've had investors, I can talk about what that would look like from their experience.
Because I spoke with like a investing company, I think it was last year, and they wanted to come in and take 51% of Fate.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And they wanted, full.
So that
controlling.
51% was like they've got the upper hand kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
And I only had like a couple of conversations with them and AJ, my partner, but it was
Of course,
again,
they want 51 though.
Yeah. But again, like I had those conversations last year and I had another conversation where AJ, my partner, joined and we were both so intrigued just because this is all new to us kind of thing. But then I just remember thinking, if someone is like in my business and 51% of it, like how does the day-to-day operations of our business change? You know, like it made
a lot
me
more pressure, I think.
Yeah, it made me wonder, like, am I still going to work every day like normal, or does my role completely change? And then do they, like, they fully swoop in and then like take a look at everyone's roles, what everyone's doing. They might put more key players in. Like that would be so weird.
You're giving up full control.
Yeah.
Especially at 51%.
I know. And I just couldn't wrap my head around how that would work, especially more so from yours and my point of view where the business is us.
Yeah.
Like we have started this from the ground up kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like I'm very much still in control of absolutely everything. Like nothing gets done without my like tick of approval kind of thing. So how would that then look if some investment company is coming in, obviously scaling the thing, but I'm at 49%. And I remember I said to them, I just have too much pride in doing this on my own right now. Like maybe in 5 years down the track kind of thing.
Yeah, that's important to you now.
If in 5 years, if I'm like, I've had enough of this. Because I've met some owners and CEOs that are like, get out now. I've met some people of like huge.
They're saying that to you.
Yeah.
Exit now.
Yeah.
Did they say why?
Yeah, because I met an owner of an apparel sort of company and it was at like an event and he was saying like, get out when your company is at its peak. And I don't know if you've ever had people say that to you, but you know, a lot of people scale businesses and then they exit them when they're at their peak kind of thing. And I guess he was speaking from experience of being in the company from the start and seeing it go to its peak, and then maybe they've had some hard times and then you've got to ride that wave of when it goes into its lows. And then there is this whole mentality, like I've met so many people that say like, what's your exit strategy? And I'm like, what do you mean what's my exit strategy? I'm just getting fucking started. Like, and I'm going to see this thing out until the end.
Yeah.
Whereas in the business world, it's very much like scale and exit, like, you know, sell it to someone else when it's at its highest, because it makes sense. Then you're going to get the most amount of money for it. Like it does make sense. But I, from my point of view, also think, what's so bad about like starting something from nothing and, you know, scaling it up to its highest point, and then even if in 15 years it all comes crashing down and you're there to fucking see it out to the end, like, is that a failure?
No, I don't think so. I think it all goes back to what's your purpose? Why are you in business in the first place?
Yes.
And I agree. I think there's some people out there who just want to build a cash cow and then flog it.
And then sell it off and then
make
start
their
something
millions
else.
and then start something else.
And I don't see there being anything wrong with that.
No.
But I'm kind of like here for the journey.
I agree. I'm the same.
Okay.
And I'm the same. I'm like, I'm just getting started. I'm 7 years in, but I feel like there's so much untapped potential that I still want to get my little claws in.
How do you feel about that? Because I guess we would probably have a similar view about that feeling of never being able to achieve enough.
How do I feel about that?
Do you feel that way?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. It's not just me.
I think sometimes it's just reminding me that I have huge expectations for myself and I'm probably my worst critic. I know I have like an inner bully as well that's always telling me keep going, do more, keep pushing. And sometimes I just have to tell it, chill the fuck out and just take a step back and see how far you've come. What you've done is actually incredible. And stop comparing yourself to others as well, I think is the big thing.
Yes.
Like there's some people who have amazing businesses, but they've had a head start, whether that be with funding or they have already scaled a business and sold it before and then they're starting another one. They have those contacts already. So I think not comparing yourself to other people's journey is a huge thing for me. But yeah, I think it's just a constant, like I deal with it every single day and I think it's just you get better at calming that voice in your head and just telling it to just chill out. We're doing really good. And I think having like a clear plan as to where you want to go. Sometimes I get really overwhelmed. I'm like, oh, we haven't done all of this and this and this. And then I'm like, actually go back to the plan that we set out. We're ticking it off. I think every entrepreneur has that little inner voice that says we're not doing enough. It's never enough. And it's the list just gets longer every day.
I don't know why it is like that in business. I'm sure a lot of other business owners can relate. Like it is hard to stop and acknowledge all the amazing things that you've done
super hard.
when you can only see like the path that's in front of you and how much further you can go.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because the stuff that we've done is like so like amazing but when you're doing it, it doesn't feel like it.
Yeah,
it just feels like...
Just feels normal to you. Like I'm just doing the minimum sometimes.
I feel the same.
Like,
and people are
no,
like,
you're
wow,
not.
look at everything that you've done. And I'm like, yeah.
It's because we just expect it of ourselves, I think.
Maybe it's that. It's like that self-pressure.
Yeah.
What are some of your goals with the Quick Flick? Like how many products do you have in your range at the moment?
I think I've got just under 50 SKUs now if you count like different sizes of stamps.
Yep.
So a SKU is essentially just like a product or a code that we give to a product. So for example, the tanning mousse, the SKU for that is QGMO, so Quick Glow Mousse. So it's just like a code that we give, like a barcode.
Yes.
So it basically helps you differentiate. So say we've got like an eyeliner stamp and then it comes in 4 different sizes. Each size would have its own SKU or code. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you've got around 50-ish.
About 50, yeah.
Are you just going to keep going?
Yes, definitely. I've got so many, there's so many problems still to solve. And recently I've become very passionate about hair care. I kind of want to go into hair care a little bit more.
I feel like with the realm that you're in as well, it is endless, the stuff that you can come out with.
Yeah.
Like you've just branched off into tan, skincare, you've done sunscreen.
Yeah.
Hair makes sense.
Totally,
Body stuff. Are you going to
Literally.
jump on like body mists because they're absolutely raging at the moment?
Yeah, I've got something for you.
Oh, is it an exclusive?
No, it hasn't launched yet.
So
it's currently launching into Coles at the moment. I have spoken about it online, but it's not on our website yet. But it's actually a hair and body mist.
Oh, yeah, I think I've actually seen this on your socials.
Yeah, with UV filters. So it helps protect your hair against sun damage.
Wow.
Going, like kind of ties into the whole sun care category that we're doing.
So interesting to see, like it's been so interesting to see the rise of body mists again. Like I feel like thanks to Sol de Janeiro, they're the ones that have really like skyrocketed the body mists
Brought them
again.
back,
Yeah, because I think back to when we were kids and teenagers.
Impulse?
Like, we would go to Coles and buy like Hello Kitty bubblegum spray. And it's giving the same sort of thing but just rebranded and it's all about the branding.
Literally, yeah. The change rooms stunk of Impulse in high school. Oh my gosh.
And I would use Impulse like in my armpits and then you would get the
everywhere.
Worst BO.
Yeah, and it would sting.
Yes. And you're putting it in your
Chucking
pits
in my
and you
spray
absolutely
bag.
sting.
Yeah.
Because it's not deodorant.
Yeah,
Are you going to do deodorant?
Maybe, who knows? Do you want me to? Do you have a problem I can solve?
I feel like you could maybe make a deodorant I mean, you know how there's like lots of natural deodorants out there now? All the ones that I've tried, it makes you stink a bit.
Yeah, okay.
So maybe you could come out with a natural deodorant in
That
your kind
actually
of
works?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
works and like doesn't make you get BO. But I've heard like you need to use them for so long before it like neutralizes with your body or whatever.
Yeah, okay.
Because I just keep using my Dove, like my OG Dove deodorant. But I feel like we shouldn't because I've heard so many things about how it's bad to put chemicals in your armpits.
Yeah, okay.
But so it's like talking on the phone, you know.
Oh, where do you draw the line?
What isn't bad for us?
Oh, I know. I've heard the trick with deodorant is to actually apply it at night before you go to bed. That's the hack I've heard. And then again in the morning, but by applying it at night, it helps mitigate the smell more throughout the day rather than just in the morning.
There you go. You heard it here first, everyone. What other like goals and plans do you envision for the Quick Flick? Other than like coming out with more products?
Yeah, so new products definitely. I think also going into new regions, new countries. Yeah, so the fun thing with sunscreens is every region pretty much has its own laws and regulations. And
yes. And our sunscreen is so different to sunscreen in America.
Yeah,
from what I've heard.
Different actives.
Yeah.
The US has a limited amount of actives. So some of the sunscreens the TGA allows to be sold in Australia can't be sold in the US. So you have to reformulate. So actives are essentially sunscreen filters that help filter UV when you're wearing the sunscreen. That's how they work.
And isn't Australian sunscreen like the best sunscreen?
It's the strictest.
Yeah. Like I feel like Americans should be taking our advice when it comes to sunscreen.
I agree.
Not that I know anything about it.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like our sun here is harsh.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
We know how to make a good sunscreen.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just talking about goals. Have you ever thought of having your own store?
No, I haven't. Just because I think it works really well how we have it at the moment. I haven't looked into it. Yeah, I haven't really explored that as a option.
Great, now I've planted that seed.
Yeah.
No, I think it'd be really hard to have like a standalone beauty store.
Yeah.
Like, I think that would be hard, especially with your Meccas and Sephoras and everything like that.
Yeah. I think also because when I started my business, my boyfriend at the time had a kiosk selling dried meats. Super random, I know.
What, like, what's it called?
Jerky and biltong.
Yeah.
And I think I got to understand the back end of that. And I was kind of like, that's not for me.
That's so interesting because then I obviously have stores and that's my thing that I
That's
do.
your thing,
and
yeah.
I look at what you do and how you're in other retails. I'm like, oh, I couldn't
That's
do
not
that.
me, yeah.
You know, you just get used to whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
And so I look at you and I'm like, how the fuck would you supply to Coles? Like, how do you know how much product to give them? Like, you know, business to business. I've never done that kind of thing. Whereas we're like retail and direct to customer.
Yeah.
But it's just like
100%.
whatever you find yourself in, that kind of works.
Yeah, agreed.
I guess one thing that we haven't touched on is the reason why the Quick Flick started in the first place. Like, obviously, you started this in 2017 when winged liner was everything. Is winged liner still everything, by the way? Like, how's sales in winged liner?
I literally posted a video on this last night because there was this viral video where this, I think she's a millennial. I'm a millennial, but whatever. She was saying, like, as a millennial, are we, like, I'm asking the Gen Zs, are we still wearing winged eyeliner?
Yes, I saw
Because I see
that.
no Gen Zs wearing it and it's the only look that makes me look hot. And I literally made a video saying, we're still wearing it, but slightly differently. So like opting for a brown liner rather than like a thick black, or using a pencil so it's a softer wing, again, rather than like that real thick defined wing. So off the back of that, the brown eyeliner is definitely more popular. And we can actually see like searches for brown eyeliner has gone up.
Yeah,
over the
because
last few years.
I really do think since 2017 we have gone from that really full glam, big wing, cut crease, whatever,
the cut crease,
to now like more your natural vibes.
Totally.
Did you ever think that when you started the Quick Flick that your hero product would then no longer be your hero product? What is your hero product at the moment?
So, well, the eyeliner stamps are still in the top sellers. So, like top 5 sellers would be the sunscreen spray, the tanning mousse, the winged eyeliner stamps, the brow gel, the brow lamination gel, and actually our lash curler of all things.
There you go.
Yeah, so the stamps are still there. They're still holding on. 7 years later, they're still holding on.
What was the motivation for starting in the first place, I guess? And this is a question that I get all the time as well. Like, why did you start?
Yeah. Honestly, I think because I was really unhappy with my life at the time. So I was studying architecture and I feel like I was just studying it because I had to go to uni.
You just felt like you needed to be
I
doing
had to do something,
Yeah.
you know, like, and I started doing law, didn't like that, changed to architecture, didn't like it so much, then changed to interior architecture. I was just hopping around trying things. And then the second uni that I went to, I felt a lot of pressure from my parents to like see this through, you know, just get the piece of paper, you know, at least if you have a piece of paper, you can do anything. That was the mentality that I had. And I'm like, I don't have a piece of paper to say.
I feel like a lot of people do find themselves in that position of like, I feel like I need to get this degree and just finish it.
Oh, yeah. So I was in the middle of my final year writing my thesis and I was like, I do not want to graduate and be an architect. Like, it just felt like a prison sentence to me. So my boyfriend at the time actually had an e-com store that was very successful and he got me in to run it.
Not the beef jerky.
This was the one before that. So this one was, oh my God, so random. This one was selling gold-plated roses.
Oh, I remember those. Were they like a Forever Rose thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. They were really popular back in the day.
Yeah. And I saw them rise and then I saw them fall as quickly as they rose.
Yeah.
Which has almost like instilled...
Pun intended.
Yeah,
rose.
As they rose. Which kind of has instilled this thing in me to always stay ahead and constantly be innovating and like not just sticking with eyeliner stamps and making other products.
I think that is so important.
Yeah. So I just kind of wanted to change my life, to be honest, which is why I started the business. And
had you tried any other business before the Quick Flick?
Yeah, I delved with a few random things, like actually tanning, of all things. Yep. Tanning was like the first thing I sort of tried. Then I tried like, remember those like selfie phone cases at the time? They were really big around.
What was that?
I've done some random shit, eh? There was a phone case and it had like a selfie light on it. So when you took a selfie.
I think like Kylie Jenner and all that was promoting it back in the day.
Yeah, so I did that a little bit. And then I also did tried to start like, I still think it was a really good idea. I tried to start a brand called the Hair Consultants, which was for hair extensions, which at the time, like they weren't huge on the market, hair extensions in terms of like the wefts.
Oh, yeah.
So I tried that and then, yeah, none of them really worked. To be honest, I don't think I was super passionate about them.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, Quick Flick and here we are.
Wow, there you go. I think it's always good to know most entrepreneurs that you'll see today that do have like a successful business have probably tried lots of little things prior to it. It's not always like your first rodeo kind of thing.
100%. Like you.
Yeah, so it's good to know that you also tried all these random little things. And looking back, we might say, oh, but they weren't businesses. Like it was just me trying to do something. But it is you trying to start a business, even if you don't think it's a business.
100%.
It feels like a hobby.
Well, Quick Flick felt like a hobby at the start. People used to say, oh, how's your little side biz going? Actually, not too bad, thanks.
Oh, I love that. But I mean, I think fate, as much as it is a big business today, and maybe you feel the same about the Quick Flick, it still does feel like a fun hobby that you 100%. Just so luckily get to do every single day. It just kind of turned into this big thing.
Yeah,
but
I
it
agree.
Still feels fun. And I think that's an important thing as well in anyone's business journey is to never not have fun with it. And I think at any point, if business is not fun, like obviously we're going to have times that are not fun. You're going to have times where, you know, shit's hit the fan. But I think it's always important for us to try to have fun in our business journey because it can get to the point for some business owners where it's not fun for them anymore and they're not enjoying it. Yeah. And then, you know, to me, I'm like, is it worth it if people are just absolutely hating every second of it? It's important to like enjoy it.
Totally. Got to enjoy the journey.
100%. As always, we're going to be ending with a tip of the week. And I'm going to leave it up to you, Iris. Do you have a tip of the week or a tip of your life for us?
Yes. So this tip would have saved me $10,000 had I known it. So I want to share it. So a mistake that I made was assuming that the sample you sign off on when you're manufacturing a product is going to match the final bulk order that you receive. So I made this mistake where we were actually ordering merchandise. So it was like a coffee cup. Got the sample. The design was great. Signed off on it. Love it. Went into production, manufactured about 10,000 units, and then didn't check them, didn't order, didn't get the manufacturer to send me, you know, a small portion of that bulk order to check beforehand, shipped them all the way to Australia, shipment arrived, opened them up, They were completely different. Did not match. Couldn't
Like
even
wrong
use them.
colours? Like,
The whole design was like warped and stretched. The lid didn't go on properly. They all had to be recycled. Like it wasn't even salvageable.
wow.
So yeah, check your sample against your bulk always before you ship and pay any like final deposits.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? I think that's something that would probably happen to a lot of owners. And people always ask, like, what is our sampling process for Fate? And I'm sure it's the same for your packaging kind of thing. So we always sample and sample and sample until you get it right. And then you're like, okay, this is what I want to go into production.
Yep.
And then you request from your manufacturer for a pre-production sample. Mm-hmm. So that's another sample of them putting it in, making it before it even goes to the bulk. So then you can confirm that pre-production sample and go, yes, that is what I want to go to production. They'll do the production of however many units you're getting. Let's say it's 1,000. Then before they ship it out, you're going to say, I want, 1 or 10 or a box from the bulk. Mm-hmm. You have to do that.
So important.
And they will charge you like a lot more for your samples. Like samples are not cheap. But again, it all comes down to relationship building. If you build up relationships with your suppliers over time, they might, eventually give them to you for free or like discounted. But pay that price and check that stock before it comes to you.
Totally.
Otherwise, it's going to show
Save
up.
you a lot.
It's going to show up like your cups and be absolutely wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to check it and check it and check it. And it will delay your timeline by a lot, waiting all these weeks for samples and everything, but it's just part of it that you have to do.
100%.
Even if, for example, with Fate, if we're just bringing back an item that we have sold 10 times before, like if we've released our buttery tea 10 times before in black, let's just say, I still get a pre-production sample and I still get a pre-shipment sample. Even though we've made that same top 1 billion times, I still check it and I still fucking try the thing on. So never don't do that.
Yeah.
Great tip, Iris. Well, thank you so much for coming on Big Business. I feel like we could talk all day and
Literally.
it could turn into like a 5-part series.
Like we just started.
I know.
5 minutes in.
It really does feel like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Tell us, where can everyone, obviously we've spoken about where everyone can find the Quick Flick, but just in case they weren't listening, where can people find you?
So me you can find at Iris Jade on socials, and then the Quick Flick. Or head down to your local Coles, Priceline or Terry White and you'll find us on the shelves.
What's your number one product that you would recommend for people to try if they have never purchased anything from you before?
I've got to go with our bestseller, which is the sunscreen spray. So it's sunscreen spray for over makeup, but it also helps set your makeup and hydrate your skin. And it's SPF 50+. Trust the Aussie sunscreens.
I'm going to need to try that because I've just got like the serum one.
Don't worry, I've got some for you. I've got everything in my bag today.
It.
Mary Poppins.
Stop it. Oh, this has been so great. And I'm going to need to get you back again whenever you're here next because it's just so good to talk to other people who just get it.
Agreed.